Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host Brett Murphy, and for today's video I have a brand new tier list video for you all, and I am going to be tiering up every single DCEU hero. So this video was originally supposed to come out just after I saw Black Adam, so yes, I am in fact a few weeks late to this one, but unfortunately the day after I saw Black Adam I ended up coming down with a pretty bad cold, and it's only been this last week or so that I've actually started to get over that cold and I can speak again and breathe again, so all of that's nice, and I figured I was already fully prepped to do this video anyway, so why not do it now? Just a quick disclaimer before we get into the tier listing too. I am also including not just the heroes but the anti-heroes too, which means yes, I will also be including the 2016 Suicide Squad as well as the 2021 Suicide Squad, as well as the Birds of Prey and even Black Adam, because yes, Black Adam is a Shazam villain, but in their respective movies each of these characters acts as a hero in some form or another and gets a redemption-like arc. And I also did this anyway because I was inspired by one of the biggest channels in the movie side of YouTube, being Sean Chandler from Sean Chandler Talks About, who also included the Birds of Prey, Black Adam, and the 2021 Suicide Squad in his ranking video for the DCEU heroes. So I guess it's more of a DCEU heroes and anti-heroes tier list and ranking because yes, as always, I will include my little ranking at the end, so be sure to stick around until all the tiers are done, and I will be including my ranking at the end too. Before we hop into the actual video itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my tier list videos. So be sure to check that out, folks, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. There isn't a ton on there right now. There's like a dozen plus videos, but this is a type of video that I've been doing a lot more frequently because I have a lot of fun with them and people seem to enjoy them, so be sure to comment and suggest ones that you'd like to see. I am down for pretty much anything. Characters, movies, franchises. Throw something out there at me. I read and respond to every single comment, so be sure to suggest what you want to see for a brand new tier video and I will definitely get to it at some point. And so without further ado, let's start tiering things up. Alrighty folks, so as always I would like to start off by just briefly going through my tiers. As you can see, I've changed the names up ever so slightly just to make them more me, essentially, rather than having the typical S tier, A tier, B tier, or God tier, awesome tier, blah blah blah. I just decided to give them a little bit more personality, that's all. So replacing the traditional G tier, S tier, whatever, the very top, the best of the best, is the godlike tier. Under that you have the awesome sauce tier, then replacing the B tier, good as gold. Under that is quite alright. After that, instead of a D tier you have Superman, and then at the very bottom, instead of an F tier, you have rock bottom. And now let's hop right into this tier list video with a little ranking at the end too. Okay, so first up we have Jason Momoa's Aquaman, and this for me is a no-brainer. I love Jason Momoa. The dude is super charming, super charismatic. I think he's hilarious, and I love this much different, far more badass and almost rock star party boy like take on Aquaman. They made him cool again, okay? I'm definitely part of the camp that growing up I did not care for Aquaman at all as a character, but over the recent years I feel like Aquaman's got a major revamp, and in the most recent years in particular with Zack Snyder's Justice League, depending on how you feel about Justice League 2017, and then especially Aquaman, his own solo movie. Yeah, I think Jason Momoa was a huge contributor to that sort of reimagining of the character, and the reason that so many more people are starting to love this character and be far more interested in his stories and his villains and his world and everything. So yeah, godlike without a doubt in my mind. Atom Smasher from Black Adam, part of the Justice Society. I'll put him in good as gold. I feel like they could have done more. What's the actor's name? Noah Centineo or something like that. I went in thinking that I really wasn't going to like this guy, but I actually didn't mind his performance. I thought it was pretty down to earth. I found him to be quite personable, so I actually didn't mind him at all. The character, he kind of just gets bigger. I mean, we've seen it before, done a million times. It's not like it's necessarily a special superpower, but you know what? I found him to be alright. He had some funny moments. He was definitely more of the comedic relief in Black Adam, and I thought that worked just fine for him, so I feel like I'd need to see more of him to bump him up at all, but I actually did enjoy the performance, and I thought I liked the costume too, and I actually thought the character was interesting enough. Then we have Ben Affleck's Batman. Look, he's going in godlike too. I do have my issues with this portrayal of the character. I don't love how in Batman v Superman he just flat out murders people. He's a much meaner, darker Batman, but I do think that the director's cut, the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman, fleshes it out a little bit more. You see that he wasn't always like this. You know, there's that line that there's a new mean in him, and all these other things that sort of flesh out the character better. For me personally, Zack Snyder's Justice League is the definitive edition of the Justice League movie, and the characterization of Bruce Wayne and Batman is far better in that. So I feel like the trajectory that the character was heading on from Batman v Superman to Zack Snyder's Justice League to where he was supposed to be headed in the other Zack Snyder Justice League movies. Nevertheless, though, I do love the portrayal of this character, this version that Ben Affleck has brought to the screen, even if I do have some issues with some of the elements, but nevertheless, I still think he was pretty great. Then we have Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam. I recognize also that Black Adam is a Shazam villain, but he was very much so an anti-hero in this movie. By the end, he even kind of says things like, oh, be a hero, because like his son was a hero and things like that. So very much so an anti-hero approach that they're taking in the DCEU. Dwayne Johnson, just like Jason Momoa, he's super charming, charismatic, funny. He just seems like such a genuine, nice, down-to-earth guy. But he can also be a major badass. Just like with Black Adam, he plays a much more stoic character, doesn't talk a whole lot like he normally does. Instead, he just speaks with his fists, and he kicks all kinds of ass. I enjoyed the second half of the movie, which was much faster paced and much more action heavy, and a lot of that was thanks to Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. Now we have Journey Smollett as Black Canary, and I also thought she was good as gold. I wish we got more of her. We only saw one instance where she actually used her powers. I wish we got more of that, and I genuinely hope that this Black Canary series or movie or whatever we're supposed to be getting, this super secret special project with Black Canary, whatever they're trying to hide it for some reason, I really hope that it does come to fruition, and I hope we get to see it, and I hope it's awesome, because I thought she was great in the role, and I really do hope to see more of the character with her actually using her abilities. Now we have Bloodsport from The Suicide Squad, the 2021 version played by Idris Elba. I'll go awesome sauce. Again, he's a bad guy. Apparently he put Superman in the hospital, and he's not a good guy. He's a villain. That's why he's in prison. However, the Suicide Squad movie essentially turns him into an anti-hero, and that's kind of the purpose of those Suicide Squad movies. So as an anti-hero, I thought he was great. Idris Elba is always awesome, and this guy is just great. Anything he does, whether it's movies or just interviews or behind the scenes stuff, he always just seems like such an awesome dude to be around, and I loved the character of Bloodsport. I loved his story, everything with his backstory about him being a father and everything, and how he kind of becomes this hero in the end. I really loved the arc that he went through, and I hope and pray that whatever James Gunn does next, now that he's the head of DC and he planned on doing more projects, I hope that him and Idris Elba team up again and we get to see Bloodsport brought back, because I thought he was fantastic. Captain Boomerang, honestly, it's the only role that I actually like Jai Courtney in. I think the dude in a lot of his roles is a little personality-less, but he brought a ton of personality to Captain Boomerang, and it actually breaks my heart that they killed him off so early in the Suicide Squad. I hope that in some way, shape, or form, we can get a prequel that involves him, because I would love to see more of him. I thought he was hilarious, and again, by far my favorite performance that Jai Courtney has ever given. Ray Fisher as Cyborg, maybe this is a hot take because we only got one movie with him, but it was true what they said. Before the Snyder Cut ever came out, the whole release the Snyder Cut movement, we got little snippets from Zack Snyder. Originally, the plan was to have Ray Fisher Cyborg be the heart and soul of the Justice League movie. That was not present at all in the 2017 version, but it is very much so the case in Zack Snyder's Justice League, 1,000 million billion %. Ray Fisher's performance was flawless. He brought so much groundedness and so much humanity to the story and to the character. He made everything relevant. He made us love him and this character. I mean, it was 4 hours, but you know what I mean? In one movie, he made the world fall for this character and his portrayal of the character, so definitely godlike in my own personal opinion, and I really hope we get to see him come back in some capacity in the future. We have Cyclone. I think I'll also put her in good as gold. I think she was alright. Actually, you know what? I think I'll bump her ever so slightly. No, I'll leave her. I actually had fun. I thought the character's abilities are fairly generic. It's just like wind manipulation, but the way that she kind of like turns like mini tornadoes and turns into a twister, and I like the colors like the green and the purple and the yellow, and I also actually found the little romance that was going on between her and Adam Smasher to be Not necessarily a great, strong aspect of the movie, but it was kind of cutesy enough to be like, oh, okay, I can see what you're going for, and I actually didn't mind her very much at all. We have Will Smith's Deadshot, and I'll honestly put him right next to Idris Elba as Bloodsport. They're essentially the same character, really. Like, it's pretty much the same character. Same thing with the father aspect of it and everything. So they kind of went for the same thing twice. Movie-wise, Idris Elba's story was done a lot better for Bloodsport, but Will Smith is Will Smith. Despite what you might think of him right now, he's still a phenomenal actor, one of the best working today, and I actually thought that he was one of the major standouts from that horrible 2016 Suicide Squad movie. Dr. Fate, also going straight in awesome sauce. The reason I'm not putting him any higher is because, well, spoiler alert, if you have not seen Black Adam, I'm issuing a spoiler alert right now, skipping the video ahead of Dr. Fate if you don't want spoilers, but 3, 2, 1, he dies. Pierce Brosnan was not up for the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe signing on for 10 plus movies. It was a one and done thing for him. He did the character once. He was fan-freaking-tastic. I loved the portrayal of Dr. Fate. I loved the outfit. I loved the way they showcased his powers and abilities, and I thought Pierce Brosnan was excellent in the role, but he was only in one movie. I'm assuming that we'll see the character again, just a different actor take on the role down the road, because there was a deleted post-credit scene from Black Adam that did feature someone else picking up the helmet. So I'm led to believe that we will get more of Dr. Fate down the line at some point, but for this iteration, I thought he was so good, I'm putting him in awesome sauce. But if Pierce Brosnan didn't get killed off, then I probably would have bumped him up even higher, truth be told, because he was probably the biggest standout from Black Adam for me. Diablo, El Diablo, I actually loved El Diablo. Aside from the main ones being Deadshot and, of course, Harley Quinn from the 2016 Suicide Squad, I thought that El Diablo, or Diablo, or whatever his name is, Jay Hernandez, was wonderful as El Diablo. I thought that he provided so much needed heart and gravity to the world and the situation and the character. I loved his backstory. It was told in such an elegant way. I thought his performance was great, and his hero moment at the end where he kind of sacrifices himself and everything, I thought all of that was very well done, even despite it being this, you know, this version of the movie that we have that the studio muddled in so much. I still thought that he was very, very good. So good as gold works for me for him. All right, Ezra Miller's The Flash. Hear me out, okay? We're going to be talking about a few people on this list that are in some difficult, muddy situations in the real world, but we're not talking about the real world actors and actresses and whatnot right now. We are strictly talking about the characters, and 2017 Justice League, once again, not great. He was just comedic relief. He didn't do much, but he had some of the best moments in Zack Snyder's Justice League. The comedy hit there for me. I loved the characterization, this version with everything going on with his father in prison. And then, of course, the moment where he stops time and runs it back was just, it was mind-blowing. It was unbelievable. I loved it. One of my favorite moments in recent memory from any superhero movie. So because of that, he's definitely going in awesome sauce. I think the jokes were a little heavy-handed, and I don't always like the take that Ezra Miller does with certain characters. This being one of them, I think there are elements of the character that really work, but there were other elements that didn't work quite as much, and that's why he's an awesome sauce and not godlike despite some of his exceptional moments. Okay, Harley Quinn, yeah, Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. She was born to play the character, the personality, the voice, the look, the attitude, her doing a lot of her own stunts. She's a badass, she's sexy, she's awesome. She is the entire complete package. Of course she's going in godlike. Hawkman also going straight in awesome sauce. Sure, some of his lines were a bit generic and his motives, he just justice this and justice that. And it did kind of get annoying after a while that he kept constantly just wanting to fight Black Adam. But I thought that Aldous Hodge was awesome in the role. I thought he was great. I thought he gave a super solid performance. I thought his throwdowns, the fight scenes with him were awesome. I thought his suit looked exceptional. I loved the mace thing. I loved everything about it. Again, yeah, some of his lines were a bit generic and a bit just typical superhero stuff, but I thought that his performance was top tier, and I cannot wait to get more of him in the DCEU. He was kick-ass, and I love this portrayal of the character, and he really did bring it to life on the screen, unlike I think anyone else could have. Again, a bit generic, but a lot of that comes down to the writing and not his performance. Are you looking for the perfect gift for the movie lover in your life, or maybe you just want to treat yourself? Then look no further than the most unique piece of movie art you could possibly have with Movie Palette. Visit moviepalette.com right now and use code BAM15 at the checkout for 15% off your order. And now, back to the video. Then we have Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress. Look, I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead as an actress, but we barely got any of this character at all, and she did have a pretty tragic backstory that was turned into basically nothing, and I get that Birds of Prey is a jokier movie, and I actually do like Birds of Prey. I actually rank it somewhere in the middle on my DCEU tier list / ranking as well, but I thought that she just didn't get enough screen time, unfortunately, and that's just kind of what happened. Katana, another one. Like, this one kills me. Rock bottom, though. Okay, look, I love Karen Fukuhara in The Boys. I think she's amazing as Kimiko, but Katana just wasn't good, okay? She looks super cool in the trailer. She has a sword, a katana, that traps the souls of its victims. She has this tragic backstory. She has this awesome-looking suit. And there's just so much potential for this character, and she just got completely and entirely and utterly sidelined. So, yeah, unfortunately, this just did not work for me. Same thing with Killer Croc. I love how they went for this more practical look. I think they got the perfect actor for him. I don't necessarily love, like, the gangster version that they went for. I thought that was a bit odd. But, yeah, again, just no screen time. I think they could have done a lot of cool stuff with this character. They could have jumped into his backstory a little bit more. They could have made him a little bit more tragic. They could have gave him more fight scenes and a little bit more to do. But unfortunately, he too just got completely and utterly sidelined. Unlike this next guy who basically replaced him in the Suicide Squad, King Shark, voiced by Sylvester Stallone. Hilarious. And also, just some of the goriest moments in the movie come from King Shark, but also some of the most heartfelt and touching moments come from King Shark too. This character was such an enigma. I didn't think in a million years that it was going to work. I thought it was just going to be this hokey, jokey character, but I fell head over heels in love with this character, and he was just spectacular, and I really cannot wait to see more of him, and I pray we do, this version in particular. Then we have Mera, and quite alright for me too. Again, Amber Heard stuff aside with the Johnny Depp trial and all that jazz. I mean, as a character, she was featured briefly in Justice League 2017, and then she was featured briefly in Justice League, the Zack Snyder version. And in both of them, she's just okay. I think her abilities are really cool. I liked her fight scene with Steppenwolf in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but she just doesn't have any personality. Even in the Aquaman movie, she has no chemistry with Jason Momoa whatsoever, and she just doesn't use her abilities as frequently as I would like to see, and just her as an actress, at least in this role, she just doesn't bring any personality to it at all. And of course, in the end credit scene that was filmed after the fact for Zack Snyder's Justice League, she has this like strange accent that's not found anywhere else, so I don't really know what that was all about, but regardless, just quite alright for me when it comes to Mera. We have Renee Montoya also. I liked her personality. I liked how she was this give no shit, take no shit kind of cop. She had a potty mouth on her, and she did definitely kick ass when it came time to throw down, but she just wasn't in the movie enough to really make me fall for the character, so quite alright for her too. And then we have John Cena's Peacemaker. Honestly, oh, this one's so tough, I'm looking at like who I have everywhere else. If it was just the Suicide Squad from 2021, he would have been an awesome sauce with Bloodsport, with Dr. Fate and everything. But with the Peacemaker show, he had an entire show dedicated to him, and John Cena just added a whole new level to his game and to this character. He showed that this guy can act when he's given the right material, when he's working with the right people. He had emotional beats. He hit every single comedic beat. He hit every single kick-ass throwdown beat. I thought the character was funny and had some great moments in the Suicide Squad, but then when we got to Peacemaker, I was really surprised is what I'm going to say. I didn't have much interest at all in watching the show. I was told to watch the first episode because it was pretty funny, and then I was hooked right away, and John Cena just continued to improve and improve and improve as every single episode went on, and I do genuinely believe he belongs in the godlike tier. Polka Dot Man, David Dastmalchian, I thought he was hilarious. I loved his just weird, kind of creepy, and just kind of just non-stop, endlessly, deeply depressed and disturbed portrayal of this character. It's a character that's always been the butt end of every joke when it comes to DC villains, and now he kind of turns into this superhero, and even, spoiler alert, his death is hilarious, and even at the end he says that he's a superhero, and I believe him. Polka Dot Man for the win. Ratcatcher too, right next to him. I really didn't know anything about this character. I, truth be told, didn't even know that she existed. We get to this movie, and just like Idris Elba's character, her and Bloodsport, they work wonders together. They add so much depth to these characters. They add so much humanity to the situation, to the movie, so much extra personality, and I loved her portrayal of this character, and I loved the connection that she had with Idris Elba as Bloodsport, and her abilities certainly came in handy in this movie. Next, you can't see his face, but that is Rick Flag. I'll put him in good as gold because essentially where I am with Rick Flag is if we just had Suicide Squad 2016, he'd probably be down in Superman or rock bottom. He was just the most generic military guy you can imagine, but in the Suicide Squad, he was given so much more personality. He was able to get his comedic timing down. He was able to have those cool moments, and he really became a leader. And just his death scene, again, spoiler alert, I guess, even though the movie's like over a year old, it broke my heart. It really did. I thought that I gained a whole new appreciation for this guy as a character. I gained a whole new appreciation for Joel Kinnaman as an actor, and I was really looking forward to seeing more of him in the future. And then they just killed him off, and it just ripped the soul right out of me. I was devastated. So he ends up in the middle because one version of the character, both by the same actor, was really bad, and the other version was really good. So he just kind of ends up in that good as gold overall tier. We have Zachary Levi as Shazam. Elements I love, elements I didn't love. I think the suit looks great. I think Zachary Levi is a hilarious actor. I think he is a great personality. I think he was a wonderful addition to the DCEU. I'm just kind of waiting for Shazam Fury of the Gods to see if he belongs in the godlike tier with the likes that are in there right now. We only got the one movie, and the movie's kind of split between him and his younger counterpart, so I'm looking forward to, very much so, checking out Shazam 2, and I think that's really going to be the deciding factor if he kind of just gets cemented in the awesome sauce tier or if he does get bumped up to godlike after all. Steve Trevor, oh, this is a tough one too. Good as gold. I think he would have ended up in awesome sauce if it was just for the first Wonder Woman, because he's a standout from that movie. He brings so much to Diana's story and the story as a whole. He's just the everyman, right? He's the lovable hero. He's part of the misfits. He's a leader, a natural born leader. He's the love interest, the perfect love interest for Princess Diana. But Wonder Woman 1984, the way they brought his character back to me was super creepy, and then he was just like given nothing to do. Like, he really was just there because people wanted to see Steve Trevor back. I truthfully felt like he was given nothing of value to do whatsoever in Wonder Woman 1984, and that's why I'm bumping him down just a little bit. Man of Steel himself, the Man of Tomorrow, Henry Cavill as Superman. I have gone on record plenty of times in many videos stating that Man of Steel is my favorite DCEU movie, and Henry Cavill is my favorite Superman, live action or animated. In my opinion, Henry Cavill's portrayal and Man of Steel, the movie in particular, are the pinnacle of the Superman character. Growing up, I did not care for Superman at all. I thought he was just a glorified cheat code, a boring Boy Scout. Superman, this version, Henry Cavill added so much to the character that I simply adore. He added so much depth, so much humanity. He really made me see the character with a whole new set of eyes and a brand new perspective, and I fell in love with this version of the character, and I could not possibly be happier that he is coming back. And now we have Vigilante, and honestly, Vigilante was pretty awesome. I found him a bit annoying at first, but just like Peacemaker himself, he really came into his own by the time the series wrapped up its first season, and I did think he was pretty awesome by the end. I thought he was funny. He gave us a lot of memorable moments. I thought the actor that portrayed him was the perfect casting choice, and again, by the end, I thought that he was a much-needed dash of comedy and heart to the series, as well as this version of the character. And last but certainly not least, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Of course she's going in godlike. No, I don't love Wonder Woman 1984, but that wasn't Gal Gadot's fault. She, in fact, was one of the standouts for the movie. I love her portrayal, and even though she was shoehorned into Batman v Superman, she was awesome then. She was awesome in her first movie, awesome in 1984. Even though Justice League 2017 sucked, in my opinion, she was still a standout then, and a standout in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I still cannot wait for Wonder Woman 3, and I hope that we get so much more of her in the future, because she, just like her name suggests, is in fact a wonder. And now, as promised, I'll do a quick little ranking here of the characters. So where Aquaman is now will be the first place. Then we'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is where Wonder Woman is right now. Then the next one, 8, is where Black Adam is, all the way down to the bottom here. And I believe there's 30 characters. So I think I'll go like this. I'll go Man of Steel, Henry Cavill in first, then probably Wonder Woman. Then I think, honestly, probably Aquaman. I really do love Jason Momoa as Aquaman, if you must know. Actually, you know what? I think I'd probably put Harley Quinn next. And then, even though she's, again, more of an anti-hero, I'll probably swap them, and I'll probably keep it like that, actually. I'm trying to get Peacemaker to go there. Yeah, listen to me, dude. Causing so much trouble. Then we got Bloodsport will be in that 8th place spot. Dr. Fate I'll put there probably. Then Deadshot for now. Oh, this is a tough one. This row is going to be by far the hardest to do. I think I'll probably put Ezra Miller's The Flash at the back. Then I'll probably bring up Shazam over here. Probably, oh, I meant to put Deadshot there, then Shazam there. King Shark actually will probably go at the back. Ratcatcher 2 will probably go right here. Black Adam, I actually think I liked... it's tough. It's close between Black Adam and Hawkman. They're pretty interchangeable. Then I'll probably put Polka Dot Man. Then the Flash, Polka Dot... No, I think I'll actually put Polka Dot Man ahead of the Flash. We get onto this row. This one's a little bit tougher too. I think I'll probably put Rick Flag here, Steve Trevor here, if I can get him to move. Adam Smasher, I'll move him to the back. Vigilante, actually probably better than Adam Smasher. Probably better than Cyclone too, and I think I like her a little bit better. Then I'll probably switch these two. I think that looks all right there. Then these ones are pretty like whatever. I'd probably put Mera here just because she at least has stuff to do in her movies. Then Huntress, then Montoya, and then I'd probably put Katana and then Killer Croc. Actually, you know what? If they put so much effort into the makeup for Killer Croc, it breaks my heart that he just pretty much sucked in this movie. But anyway, there's my ranking. Once again, #1 spot going to Henry Cavill, Superman, and the last place spot going to Katana, and then you just work your way down, and that is the final ranking, and each character ends up in their respective tiers, and of course, as always now, back to me. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with which tier I put each character in and what you thought of my ranking. While you're at it, be sure to let me know which tier you would have put each character in and how you would have ranked all 30 of these heroes and anti-heroes. If you're a movie lover whatsoever, then my channel is the place to be for you. Be it tier videos just like this one, rankings, top 10s versus videos, I have all of that and so much more, with new videos coming each and every single week and a backlog of 500 plus videos, closing in on 600 already on the channel. So if you enjoyed this particular video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content from me, then smash that subscribe button right now. While you're at it, don't forget to ring that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.